Cat says if he had time, he'd whoop every redneck in the building. Disco comes out. Cat tells him he's getting one more chance to win the dance contest. Disco looks genuinely confused. Miller then says, I'm the greatest dancer and I love James Brown. Okay, I like James Brown too, but what does that have to do with it? Flair whispers something to Piper, and Piper says Van Hammer's going to face Rick Steiner for the World TV title. And we're going to find out if Van Hammer's a sledgehammer or a pinball hammer, whatever that means.
I think it's like one of them little hammers, so it's like circle on one side, flat on the other.
I think he meant ball. Yeah, they were about to do it live in the arena, and then thankfully it got cut off.
So the song was, I hate rap. Rap is crap.
Rap is crap.
And they're
over and over and over
playing
again.
Their banjos and whatever else country instruments.
Bagwell then wins the boxing match by pinning Roddy Piper after a blockbuster. Mills Lane didn't know how to count.
He gets down on one knee and then just counts 1, 2, 3, not hitting the mat. Just
I had to
like air counting
because I thought he counted to 10.
I think he would have.
He would have, yeah. He jumps to Flair, begging Sid and Savage to be ringside when David Flair takes on Nash. Flair, Piper, and Arn Anderson will be there, and they will have a ref in their pocket. But David Flair just sucks so bad, they need 2 more legends to help him win. Finley gets put in the trunk of a car and dives out at the last second before a forklift takes it to a crusher. It looks like they took the car to this box thing and then fireworks went off. It was really stupid because the trunk was clearly open, so just like when they pushed the car over earlier, it served no purpose other than crushing a car. Because the guy driving the forklift wanted to kill Finley, right? Well, he saw Finley get out, so he's wasting time. What if Finley climbs the side of the forklift? Did you think about that? Well, moving on, we have our Wrestling Rewind. And this week is WCW, Bash at the Beach, 1999. We're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Starts off with a hype video. Macho Man, Randy Savage, Kevin Nash, Sting, and Psycho Sid are all beating the shit out of each other. There was another Sting at one point. Good thing they're still doing that. Savage still has his hookers. Nash wore a tie-dye NWO shirt. If that doesn't say the NWO is dead, nothing does.
I actually missed that.
Oh. Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan are on commentary. Schiavone tells us that the main event was originally Kevin Nash and Sting versus Savage and Psycho Sid. But because they all can't stop fighting, the main event is now Kevin Nash and Sting versus Randy Savage and Psycho Sid. However, if Nash gets pinned, he can lose the belt to whoever pins him. Heenan says that either of the 3 guys can pin Nash, so Nash is totally at a disadvantage, of course. Schiavone then mentions why Mike Tenay isn't there. He's currently 15 miles away in a junkyard, preparing for the first ever Invitational Junkyard Hardcore match. Apparently, the Sandman is responsible for this. Schiavone then brings up the boxing match between Roddy Piper, and Buff Bagwell. Judge Mills Lane is here for that. Oh, God. Heenan says Piper is going to put Bagwell in the 3rd row. And then they kick it to Mean Gene to break some news. Mean Gene says that there are people backstage and we need to call the fucking hotline. There's people backstage, you're going to want to hear about it. So call me.
It is something that they're still pushing the hotline.
No
thing.
shit.
Like, yeah, they're still hanging on to that.
Then they kick it to Mike Tenay, who sure enough is standing in the middle of a junkyard. Tenay tries to sell us on this match, the atmosphere, and how dangerous the Ring of Cars is. Tenay tells us the genesis of this match was because Ric Flair banned all hardcore matches in WCW. So Sandman issued a junkyard challenge. Other wrestlers decided to join in solidarity or some shit. Tenay tries to get us to buy that someone important will be in this match. Like, you know, one of the main roster guys. Then he goes over the general rules of this shit. You need to escape the Ring of Cars, and then you need to just climb a fence.
Yeah.
So basically, you just need to leave the junkyard. This is stupid. So Ernest, the Cat Miller, and Disco Inferno face each other to start the pay-per-view. So the person who loses this match can never dance in WCW again. It's high stakes. Oh, wait, no. They realized that was fucking stupid, so they just wrestled a match instead. So both men can dance whenever they want now. Miller grabs the mic. After his entrance, he says the redneck crowd makes him sick. They start chanting, "You suck." Cat then says the crowd knows he's not just a pretty face. They know he can dance. He's the greatest dancer in the world, and he's a bad man. Cat says if he had time, he'd whoop every redneck in the building. Then he says there's going to be another dance contest. and he's going to call his mama and whooping somebody today. Disco comes out. Cat tells him he's getting one more chance to win the dance contest. Disco looks genuinely confused. Miller then says he's the greatest dancer, and he loves. I'm the greatest dancer, and I love James Brown. Okay. I like James Brown too, but what does that have to do with it? Miller says everyone in the crowd will vote for him in the dance contest, and if they don't vote for him, he will go to his car, grab his karate gi, and whoop every chump in the building. So that's his thing. And then Cat says, hit my music, and he puts on some special red dancing shoes. And then the cat just slides around for a while and then starts celebrating in the corner. I would not call that dancing.
He was trying to do basically the James Brown sliding feet thing.
Okay.
And I guess that's why he said he loves James Brown.
I need to brush up on my James Brown then, because did that resemble anything James Brown does?
I guess so. That used to be how he danced, and then he would take it a step further, and like he'd get tired. This being James Brown, he'd get tired.
Oh, I remember that.
Put the robe on him and it'd energize him.
Yeah. Like, no, which that was great. That was a good move. Shivani called it a pretty good little dance routine. So it's Disco's turn, and he does his stupid dance. Shivani says, well, look, he doesn't even have to move his feet there. Cat gets pissed off and goes after Disco, and the match finally starts. Disco gets the best of Cat. Cat slides out of the ring and cuts another promo about calling his mama. Then they go back and forth and fight on the floor. Nothing special. Cat blatantly low blows Disco, and the ref just wags his finger at Cat. Actually, all he did was say what he did. Like, oh, you just hit him in the balls. Like, there's no consequences for, cheating. Cat takes control, but he overly telegraphs his big moves, and Disco regains control by chomping Miller's arm. And then Disco tries to go for a stunner. It's blocked. Miller hits numerous karate kicks, but Disco survives them all. Eventually, Miller gets fed up, asks Sonny Ono for one of his fancy red shoes to use on Disco. Disco thwarts Miller by stomping on his bare foot, then clocks him with the shoe. But Miller kicked out thanks to a delay by Sonny Ono. He was distracting the ref. So Ono gets stunned by a pissed off Disco Inferno. Meanwhile, Miller goes back to the red shoe, puts it on, karate kicks Disco right in the face, and he gets the win. I thought they were going to let Disco win this forgettable match, but silly me. Fortunately, Disco can still dance, though, despite losing. And yeah, Cat also pretended to be James Brown after the match. He danced around Disco's fallen carcass, and then he got tired. He did the splits, then he got tired. So Sonny Ono put the robe on him. And yeah, he shrugged it off. No, gotta keep dancing. So he danced around Disco some more. And then Sonny Ono put a different robe on him.
Yeah, it re-energizes him.
So I like aspects of the Cat, but man, he is annoying.
I don't know. I think he's entertaining.
Fair enough.
I like when he pucks his lips out. Like when he says something, he pucks his lips out. I just think it's so funny. He's actually one of my favorite pieces of WCW. Funny enough. I don't know what it was. Obviously, he wasn't ever going to be champion or anything, but he was sports entertaining. I guess it's...
I don't know. He's a little bit too on the nose. I'm the best and I love James Brown. You don't have to tell me you love James. You're acting like James Brown.
Yeah, it's weird that he would say it. Usually if you're sampling a character, you don't say it.
Then we go to the internet location. A fat fuck Mark Madden is talking to Judge Mills Lane. They're comparing Piper and Bagwell to Holyfield and Tyson. Actually, they say the WCW match will be a lot crazier. Madden wants to know how Mills Lane is going to maintain order. Mills Lane says they're going to get it on, but he ain't taking no crap from either one of them. That was his thing. He said get it on and crap a lot. Madden concludes from that statement somehow that Mills Lane doesn't like Roddy Piper. Lane says no, he just doesn't want to put up with any crap. Madden says, well, Tyson had to bite Holyfield's ear off before you called that match. How far will you let this match go? Mills Lane says he'll cut him a little slack, but not a lot of slack. So I'm sold. It's worth noting that Judge Mills Lane is a TV personality at this point, so I don't know what the fuck his issue is. Shivani says coming up next, the World TV title. Then it jumps to a video of Disco Inferno losing to Van Hammer, of course. Then it cuts to Ric Flair stopping Jimmy Hart and Hugh Morris from kicking Van Hammer's ass. Flair says there will never be another hardcore match. Morris tells Flair to stay out of his match. Meanwhile, Van Hammer recovers, picks up a table. Flair says, "You want a hardcore match? You got it." And then Van Hammer takes Morris and Hart out with the table. But then Van Hammer puts Morris through said table. So it cuts to Van Hammer in a Cowboys jersey approaching Ric Flair in the back. Ric Flair's with Arn Anderson and Roddy Piper. I guess Piper and Flair are best of friends now.
Yep, they've mended their fences, apparently.
Van Hammer wants a title shot. Flair whispers something to Piper, and Piper says Van Hammer's going to face Rick Steiner for the World TV title. Then we're going to find out if Van Hammer's a sledgehammer or a pinball hammer, whatever that means. You know what? Let me look up pinball hammer.
I think it's like one of them little hammers, so it's like circle on one side, flat on the other.
I think he meant ball peen hammer. Van Hammer pretended to be excited. It's like, yeah, hell yeah. Can't wait. Which leads us to Rick Steiner versus Van Hammer for the World Television title. Before the match, Steiner got on the mic, of course. He says he and Big Papa Pump do whatever they want, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. If anybody has a problem, they can come in the ring, and they'll shove it where the sun don't shine. He says, you want some? Come get some. You don't like me? Bite me. Because everybody needs a catchphrase. I cannot believe that they are pushing Van fucking Hammer.
Yes, they are.
Oh my God. Not only is he has a win streak, and they're like, oh, he's the greatest. He used to be part of the flock. He used to be a hippie, but now he's no peace. He's focused.
You realize that doesn't work in WCW.
Yeah. So Steiner goes after Van Hammer. Hammer knocks Steiner out of the ring. And then Steiner takes back control of the match. DDT's Hammer on exposed concrete and shoves the ref to the ground for no reason. Van Hammer gets control of the match with a dick shot. Doesn't last long. Steiner goes back to kicking Hammer's ass. Van Hammer has to use a chair. Pretty sure the ref was looking right at it. I don't know what else he would have been looking at. But he let it happen. Then Van Hammer hits a top rope clothesline, goes for something else, but Steiner bites his way out of the hold. And Steiner kicks Van Hammer square in the dick, wins with a Steiner Bulldog. So I guess some things never change. Well, they kick it back to Mike Tenay in the fucking junkyard. Tenay says we don't know who's going to be in the match, but Sandman set it up. Brian Knobbs, of course, will be involved. Hugh Morris was mentioned. Jimmy Hart is walking around in a helmet, so he'll be there. The only thing we do know about the competitors in the match is that they're all experienced in the art of hardcore wrestling. But this match will be unlike anything they've ever been involved in because it's in a junkyard with a ring of automobiles and a fence. Pretty intense. The winner of this abortion will get some cheesy-ass hardcore champion trophy.
Still haven't got the title yet, but they're going to get this trophy thing.
Apparently. So it cuts to a video of Rick and David Flair. Ric Flair just hands David the U.S. title and then tells a swarm of women to fuck his son. And then David Flair is mini Ric Flair now. So, he's wearing boxing shorts. Probably because he has little chicken legs. So that leads us to Dean Malenko versus David Flair for the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. Torrie Wilson is still with David Flair somehow. So the money must be good. So David Flair's gimmick appears to be portraying a dog shit wrestler. Like he gets his ass kicked while Malenko just talks shit to Flair. And then Malenko goes for a Texas Cloverleaf. Flair hits the ring, but he gets decked. Malenko locks in the Cloverleaf to David. Arn Anderson beats the shit out of the ref and hits him with a spine buster. So Little Nate slides in, steals the ref's shirt. Meanwhile, Malenko decks Anderson and puts a Flair shim in a Texas Cloverleaf. It's Asia, who's bigger than China. Ric Flair then hits Malenko in the back of the head with the U.S. title and then drags a lifeless David Flair over him. And David Flair won. So basically, the only offense that Malenko received was from Flair and Arn Anderson, if you don't count the shove.
Yep. They were quick to point that out on commentary, though. It's like he won with no offensive maneuvers.
Arn Anderson and Ric Flair beat the shit out of Malenko after the match, too. They stomped him out.
So it's the Nepo baby gimmick before it became a thing.
Yeah. I guess they're doing it in a way that makes me want to see David Flair lose a match.
Well, if he has that much help, how is he going to lose?
True.
I guess he will, but.
So to recap, we've had Disco Inferno versus Ernest Miller. We had Rick Steiner versus Van Hammer. And we had David Flair versus Dean Malenko. Well, up next, Shivani says it's rap versus country. Then they replay the last pay-per-view when Mr. Perfect pissed off Master P, and then P and his buddies hooted like owls. It cuts to Conan and Rey Mysterio in the ring surrounded by black men in camo. Turns out to be Master P and his No Limit soldiers. And Mr. Perfect and Barry Windham play their country song over the loudspeakers and run away. This causes Master P to start hooting again. It's like, you want some, cuz? Whoo! Later, Mr. Perfect gives some guy a cowboy hat, and the guy stomped on the hat, and Master P leveled Mr. Perfect with the cake. So that was nice. Then we see Mr. Perfect's country music video with Barry Windham and Bobby Duncombe Jr. and Kendall Windham. It was awful. Perfect talks about being a redneck and how deplorable rap music is. Mr. Perfect, once again, is from Minnesota. And then Mr. Perfect and his band are about to do a live rendition of this shit song. Mercifully, it's cut short or cut out because we go to the match.
Unfortunately for me, it was actually there.
Oh, they did the live version?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the live version. But I did hear the whole song, so.
Oh, I heard the whole song because they did the music video where they played in like a college or some shit.
Oh, that wasn't the live version?
No. So they did that.
Oh,
and then,
okay. Never mind.
Yeah, they were about to do it live in the arena, and then thankfully it got cut off.
So the song was I hate rap. Rap is crap.
Rap is crap.
Yeah. And they're
over and over and over
playing
again.
their banjos and whatever else country instruments.
So yeah, West Texas Rednecks versus No Limit Soldiers. The Rednecks are Mr. Perfect, Barry Windham, Bobby Duncombe Jr., and Kendall Windham. Representing the No Limit Soldiers are Rey Mysterio Jr., Conan, Swole, and B.A. B.A. stands for Brad Armstrong. He's part of the team somehow. So it's an 8-man elimination tag team match. Conan naturally gets on the mic beforehand. He says Mr. Perfect's team has a catchy song, but after the match, all of them are going to bow down, toss their salad, and peel their potatoes. I don't think he quite gets it.
He can't, or he wouldn't be mentioning it every time.
Then he does his stupid catchphrases. He's a lot more obnoxious than I remember.
Those are his catchphrases, though. I guess those are some new ones. Peeling potatoes and tossing a salad. What does peeling potatoes even mean?
I would assume sucking dick and licking asshole. You go lick my balls. I mean, that would be some gay shit, right?
Based on the other information, probably.
He's not taking him to a culinary school or something. Rey Mysterio Jr. tries to put bass in his voice and then hoots like Master P. Like, No Limit Soldiers! Sound like a kid trying to sound like his dad on the phone. Hoo-hoo! So I really enjoyed all the parts where each of the Rednecks wrestled Brad Armstrong. Probably the best part of the match for me. I thought Kendall Windham looked really good until he took his hat off, revealed he had barely more hair than Conan.
And not by choice. Like, it wasn't because it was shaved.
So there's nothing really special from Ray or Conan. Swole was awkward and stiff. Duncombe got eliminated first by Big Swole, awkwardly. Armstrong got eliminated via Perfect Plex, so he completed his mission. Conan eliminated Kendall Windham. Barry Windham gets carried out by one of the stupid No Limit soldiers that stayed ringside, and Conan just left. So it's Mr. Perfect alone versus Swole and Rey Mysterio Jr. Barry Windham comes back and tries to help, but the dumbass that carried him away comes back, then they fight, and then Mr. Perfect gets pinned.
And the country music guys lost. I guess rap wasn't that crap.
No, we lost.
Funny enough, I thought it was a pretty good match outside of, the build-up part of it. Like the actual bell time, it was a pretty good match. Because they are good wrestlers, but it's just everything that goes with it.
I will say it was probably the match that I enjoyed the most. Everybody was really good. Except for Swole, Conan, and Ray. Shivani and Heenan bullshit for a little bit, then it cuts to another video. Sandman, still with Raven's sister, calls out Brian Knobbs, Bam Bam Bigelow, Raven, and Hugh Morris for the Junkyard match. Raven's sister looked like she took a shower before this pay-per-view. So, leads us to the Junkyard Hardcore Invitational match. The ref just blows an air horn and everybody starts fighting in the ring of cars. Kind of looks like a riot. Someone pushes a car over for no reason. Like there was no one by it or under it. They just pushed the car over. Jerry Flynn used jumper cables to electrocute 2 people fighting on a car. I thought that was great. Morris hip tossed Silver King onto a windshield. Silver King looked like he got cut and he immediately sat up and stopped playing. Rocco Rock is the first guy to reach the fence, and he's stopped by Horace Hogan, and they start fighting. Then it cuts to some other bullshit, and we don't know what happens to Rocco Rock at all. Finley gets put in the trunk of a car and dives out at the last second before a forklift takes it to a crusher. I thought it was I don't know what the fuck that was. It looks like they took the car to this box thing and then fireworks went off. I thought it was going to crush it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was really stupid because the trunk was clearly open, so just like when they pushed the car over earlier, it served no purpose other than crushing a car. Because the guy driving the forklift wanted to kill Finley, right? Well, he saw Finley get out, so he's wasting time. What if Finley climbs the side of the forklift? Did you think about that? So another car explodes because they knocked over a pile of embers or some shit onto it, and then Finley climbs the fence and wins the trophy. So neither Sandman or any of the people he specifically called out won this fucking shit. It was just Fit Finley.
Yeah.
Really fucking stupid.
Complete wild card there.
So the people that Sandman invited, excluding Raven and Bam Bam, were involved. We had Public Enemy, La Parka, Jerry Lynn, Fit Finley, Silver King, Horace Hogan, Lord Steven Regal, and Squire Dave Taylor sticking out like sore thumbs. They stuck out more than the luchadors.
Wearing blue jeans with
their little polo shirts and shit.
Yeah.
Looked like they were about to play tennis. And we had Cyclope and Mikey Whipwreck. Just at one point, Mikey Whipwreck was just standing around looking and doing nothing. Just watching. Like, why am I here? I was the ECW champion. God damn it. I remember thinking that I was going to just skip this shit. And then it started and then it stopped. My jaw was dropped the entire time. It was hard to follow. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even know who was in it. And yeah, Fit Finley just won.
Yeah, it was definitely chaotic. And yes, hard to follow. They kept going to the like helicopter shot or whatever. Also, when they did that, it was like a VHS was playing, like a Wyatt Six video.
Yeah. It reminded me of the monster truck.
Oh, is that what they were going for?
I don't know. I think that was just the best way they could show that it was in a junkyard and all of them fighting at once.
I don't know. Yes, maybe they wanted to change angles, but it's like, I think we believe you that this is in a junkyard. You don't have to go to the stupid overhead shot. But on the other hand, it shows everything.
Yeah.
So
it shows scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, remember that hardcore scramble, that one WrestleMania that was hard to follow? This was that on steroids.
Yeah, it was. Oh, and also whoever was doing the camera work, they kept shaking the camera too.
Of course.
Which is adding to more
shows action
to it
what
all.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, it just made it even more hard to follow because the camera's constantly shaking.
We get a tag title match hype video. Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn are in the back. Benoit sees something he doesn't like, so he starts running somewhere. DDP, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Chris Kanyon are waiting in the shadows to beat Benoit's ass. It was actually kind of funny because DDP threw a chair right in Benoit's face as he was running. Saturn got fucked up too, of course. Then it cuts, I guess, to an 8-man tag match. It was Benoit, Malenko, Saturn, and Buff Bagwell. Jesus Christ. Versus DDP, Kanyon, Roddy Piper, and Ric Flair for some reason. Benoit's team has their submissions locked in on the other team, and then Bam Bam breaks up one of the submission holds, so it means all the other guys have to let go of their holds. Then it's just highlights of the tag match until Buff Bagwell pinned Ric Flair after a blockbuster. As a result, Flair makes the tag title match a handicap match. So, DDP, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Chris Kanyon versus Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn. And they justify 3 men vying for the tag titles because the Freebirds did it.
Of course.
So yes, WCW tag titles. DDP and company get microphones so they can say their stupid catchphrase. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. Paige said that they also have the greatest 3-man group ever.
What was their name again? Something.
The Jersey Triad.
There you go.
Pretty vanilla tag match. Benoit and Saturn held their own. Didn't seem like a handicap match at all. Then Saturn goes for a Death Valley driver to DDP. He ends up knocking the ref out with DDP's feet. While that happens, Kanyon has an unnecessarily large bag of powder or substance, as Giovanni says. Like, Jesus Christ, he had like a trash bag full of. Anyway, he throws some into Saturn's eyes, but DDP got powder in his eyes too and hits Canyon with a diamond cutter. Benoit goes for the cover, but Bam Bam puts Canyon's foot on the bottom of the rope. Page goes to the floor, grabs a metal trash can. Benoit and Saturn sandwich the ref by throwing Bam Bam and Canyon into him. DDP takes out Benoit with the trash can, and then Canyon. He was going in for Saturn, so Canyon can't get a break. He seems to be the joke of the group.
He's always getting the hit by his teammate thing.
Then Bam Bam picks up Benoit and does an assisted diamond cutter with DDP, and they win. I'm kind of digging the Benoit Saturn tag team. They have good chemistry. They're hard-nosed dudes. Saturn has tattoos. Benoit doesn't have any teeth.
Perfect balance.
Jersey Triad, I don't know. All I can think is DDP was the world heavyweight champion not 2 pay-per-views ago.
He sure was.
Before that, he was wrestling Goldberg and shit. Now he's with fucking Canyon and Bam Bam. So we get a boxing match hype video. Mills Lane is on the entrance ramp with J.J. Dillon. He's talking shit to Roddy Piper, who's in the ring. Mills Lane just said, get it on a bunch. You and Mr. Bagwell are going to get it on. Let's tee it up and get it on. Let's get it on Sunday in California, in Florida, because he fucking sucks. So it leads us to Roddy Piper versus Buff Bagwell. Marcus of Queensberry rules. The only man in the world qualified to officiate this match is Judge Mills Lane, who comes out dressed as a judge instead of a referee, of course. Buff comes out, grabs a mic, says, Piper, I knew you'd have Flair in your corner, so I brought out my mom to be in mine. Sure enough, his mom comes out. Flair gives Bagwell one more chance to walk away, say he's sorry to everyone in the back. Because once the match starts, Flair can't do anything to save Bagwell. Bagwell said, well, I beat you 3 weeks ago. So I guess that was it. So the bell rings, and it's sad. Slow, uncoordinated, obviously phony. First round ends and Piper headbutts Bagwell. Then they sit in their respective corners, getting mopped up, even though they're both dry as a bone. Flair sprays something on Piper's gloves. Mama Bagwell tries to wipe whatever it was out of Bagwell's eyes with the driest sponge in the world. And then the third round starts. Piper starts a little before the bell. And then Mama Bagwell gets in the ring and bites Piper's ear and dumps Buff's spit bucket on him. Buff Bagwell then wins the boxing match. Buff Bagwell then wins the boxing match by pinning Roddy Piper after a blockbuster. Mills Lane didn't know how to count.
Yes. So he gets down on one knee and then just counts 1, 2, 3, not hitting the mat. Just
I had to
like air
counting
counting
because I thought he counted to 10.
I think he would have.
He would have, yeah. You're absolutely right. No, he counted to 3. Mama Bagwell manhandled Flair after the match, and then they successfully made me hate both wrestling and boxing all in one night.
You know, you would think Piper, who's been in a boxing match on wrestling television before, would have been like, this isn't a good thing. But this one was way worse because it was clearly worked punches. Like at least the other one, I don't know. You couldn't
Piper
tell.
was throwing live
kinda
rounds.
looked- yeah.
This one, they
But this
clearly
one-
weren't going to hurt each other.
Yeah. Like you can clearly tell the punches were wrestling punches,
Yeah.
but with boxing gloves on.
Especially Bagwell stomping one.
They do this in Rocky too, and I hate it there too. The boxer just uses like one hand instead of using right left. Like when he's really pounding down, he's just like he's using one hand. They were doing it in this match too. He's just using one hand.
Well, then Piper did combinations to Bagwell in the corner. It was awful.
Yeah, those aren't any better. This is all around from the get go when he got Bagwell in the corner and you saw his punches. Like, okay, let's get this over with.
Like
and then Bagwell ends in a blockbuster, or I'm sorry, wins with a blockbuster.
The sweet science that was not.
Yeah, didn't even win with a boxing thing or by DQ because I don't know. Piper got upset and took his gloves off and got the match thrown out. Nope, a blockbuster.
What'd you think of Mama Bagwell?
I don't know. She's just there.
We'll get used to her.
Oh, that's what I was saying. I think they're trying to push Bagwell to a bigger thing now.
He has pinned both Ric Flair and Roddy Piper. And you hear the stories about how Roddy Piper refused to be pinned by Hulk Hogan, but he let Buff Bagwell pin him.
Well, it's different times.
It's the same
It's not
time.
though.
They're 2 years removed from their match. They just wrestled it like last year.
Oh, was it in WCW that he refused it? I thought it was in WWE
Yeah.
WrestleMania. He didn't want to lose to Hogan because he thought he was just as big as Hogan.
Well, there's that too. And Hogan wanted to get his win back or whatever. Piper wouldn't let him get pinned in WCW either. Not clean.
Piper had that much pull,
He just refused.
but it's Hogan.
That's what I'm saying. You're refusing Hogan, but
no, all I'm saying is like
Bagwell.
It's Hogan. You can't refuse.
That's why the story's so legendary and mythical, because Piper's the one guy that refused, and it's the one guy that Hogan couldn't pin. He was proud of that. And then he has a fucking loss to Marcus Buff Bagwell.
Or maybe he just had a vendetta against Hogan, I guess.
That's probably more realistic. World Tag Match Hype Video. World Tag Title Match Hype Video, I should say. Wait. The World Heavyweight Title Tag Match Hype Video. Jesus Christ. Anyway, it cuts to a video of Randy Savage demonstrating how to beat Kevin Nash's ass on one of his hookers. Then it cuts to Kevin Nash wanting to fight Psycho Sid in sandals. Sid appears on the Titantron. I think he accepts Nash's challenge. I don't know what he said. Fast forward to Nash fighting Sid in that fucking tie-dye NWO shirt. Savage then gets involved, whoops Nash's ass. Sting comes out for some reason, saves Nash. Then it jumps to Flair and Piper talking. Flair sets up the main event we're about to watch. Then it jumps to Nash talking in the ring. Somehow he thinks Sting is the one who drove the Hummer that tried to kill him last pay-per-view. So Nash doesn't trust Sting. Then it jumps to Flair begging Sid and Savage to be ringside when David Flair takes on Nash. Flair, Piper, and Arn Anderson will be there, and they will have a ref in their pocket, but David Flair just sucks so bad they need 2 more legends to help him win. We got the 4 horsemen. That's not enough. David needs more insurance. So Nash then demands a stipulation that if he puts up his title against David Flair, then David Flair has to put up Torrie Wilson for 72 hours if Nash wins. So this match with David Flair happens. It's Psycho Sid, Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, Randy Savage, Arn Anderson, Kenyon, and DDP all beating the fuck out of Nash. Somehow, Nash is able to kind of sort of hold his own. Then David Flair's useless ass comes in with a taser. And Nash gets the taser immediately, and basically it's a fair fight. And he tases everybody. Nash then steals one of Savage's hookers, and Torrie Wilson just leaves voluntarily with him. Then Nash sees Sting sitting in a Hummer in the parking lot, minding his own business, and this freaks Nash out. So it jumps to another instance where Nash is getting jumped by a gang of legends. This time, Sting is with them. The video cuts out. We learn that the real Sting eventually came out, and Nash ended up kicking his ass. So how bad does David Flair suck?
Apparently, a lot.
I see they're trying to give Nash the Hogan treatment with, the 100 guys on one.
Yeah.
Randy Savage and Psycho Sid versus Sting and Kevin Nash. Whoever pins Nash is champion. And just as the match starts, Savage's favorite hooker decides to join Nash's side, so she must have liked what he gave her.
Mm-hmm.
Sting gets his ass kicked by Savage and Sid for the first half of the match. Nash finally gets tagged in, starts running wild. Sting gets tagged back in, fights with Savage on the floor, misses a Stinger splash on the guardrail, goes back to getting his ass kicked. And then Sting inadvertently falls on Sid's dick, so that buys him enough time to tag Nash back in, who runs wild again. Everybody gets in the ring, then Savage's hookers attack Sting. He clunks their heads together and then gives them Stinger splashes. Savage and Nash are fighting in the corner. Of course, Sting, he gets Nash too. Then Sid chokeslams Sting. Nash gets right to his feet after the Stinger splash, and he dumps Sid out of the ring, and he goes to jackknife Savage. Savage's hooker, who joined earlier, gets in the ring and hits Nash in the balls. Looks like she had to do it twice because the first one didn't register or something. And then Sid sets Nash up for Savage, and Savage wins the match after the elbow drop. Savage then celebrates as new champion with Psycho Sid and his hookers. Didn't play up Sting versus Nash at all.
Yeah, he was a pretty good teammate there.
Yeah, it looked like they bitched to each other a little bit at the beginning of the match, and then they wrestled and had a match. Sting didn't look like he was tempted at all to go for the world heavyweight title. Like there was no like, oh, Sting could pin him now. Sting didn't even make an attempt to pin him. Nash could have been on his back while Sting is in the ring. He could have looked at the crowd or something. I don't know. Anything. No. But that was Bash at the Beach, 1999.
Like I said, it might have been the worst pay-per-view that we've seen so far.
It was just boring. The main event was okay, I guess. I liked the rap versus country because of Armstrong and the good wrestlers. I still say that match where Public Enemy left in the middle of their match to get some shit. I still say that's the worst match I've ever seen.
That hardcore match thing, yeah.
Our next WCW pay-per-view is Road Wild 1999 in Sturgis, South Dakota, of course. The main event is Kevin Nash versus Hulk Hogan. He's back.
Oh, it's already in the main event too.
Of course. Where else would he be? It is a retirement match for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. But before that, we have ECW's November to Remember 1997, which took place in Monaca, Pennsylvania. It's the 5th November to Remember event held by ECW, first to be featured on pay-per-view. 8 matches were contested. The main event was Shane Douglas versus Bam Bam Bigelow. It's for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. Other matches were Mikey Whipwreck versus Just Incredible, personal favorite of mine. Pitbull number 2 versus Taz for the ECW World Television Championship. We have Rob Van Dam versus Tommy Dreamer. It's a flag match. And finally, Sandman versus Sabu. It's a tables and ladders match.
Well, we can't judge on paper. We'll just have to see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, I think ECW pay-per-views are just going to be what they are.
I'm sure they'll start to heat up at some point. We're just getting used to the new characters. And they're pushing this Pitbulls like it's no end. Let's get over the Pitbull push here. Whipwreck, he's still getting his pushes. So the people we know will get there soon.
Well, it's a good sign with Just Incredible because that means Lance Storm's going to come. The Impact players.
Yep. Good stuff.